so much. So going further, Abhishek, can you tell small info about you to our audience?
Yes, sir, sure. So, hey guys, I am from Belgaum, Karnataka. I'm pursuing my engineering degree in CS. I'm in my third year. I'm an average guy. I just scored between 80 to 90, not above that. So I'll be sharing about my personal experience, which I had with my persistent interview, and I'll be taking you all throughout the process.
Yeah.
Yes,
So coming to persistent systems, so firstly, what is the role they offer to you?
it's a software engineer role.
So
Yes.
what's the package for that?
So the package is 4.7 lakhs.
Okay, good, good. So coming to the interview process, like how was the
Yes,
interview
sir.
happened? Like what are the different types of rounds happened, and what's the process? Your slots, since they are rapidly filling up.
Okay, so sir, persistent has three rounds. That's
Mm-hmm.
the aptitude and the elimination round.
Mm-hmm.
Later, you have your technical interview. Later, you have an HR assessment. So
Mm-hmm.
technical, I cleared my elimination round, and technical interview they sent a mail, and then it was in the evening. I joined around 6. The person didn't show up, interviewer didn't show up, so I had to wait for some time. So
Mm-hmm.
at that time, you should not panic. Actually, you need to wait patiently.
Yes.
And then they showed up, and the interview went on for some 30 to 35 minutes, sir.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So coming to TR interview, so what kind of questions you were asked by the interviewer?
Okay, so basically starting off, I had mentioned the languages as C, Java, and Python. So the first
Mm-hmm.
question came up as, why do you think Java is safe when
Mm-hmm.
compared to other object-oriented language like C++? I first answered them, it's maybe because it doesn't use multiple inheritance. They were like, no, not because of that. And then I tried guessing, and then I said, maybe it doesn't have pointers. So they were satisfied with that answer. And then they
Mm-hmm.
asked questions on oops, uh, operation overloading, method overloading, overriding, and they asked more questions on DBMS, like the schema and such things.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave an example. Suppose you're building a database for a theater. What all
Mm-hmm.
tables will you be needing? So I had to explain what all tables are needed, their attributes, and those things.
Mm-hmm.
Later, they asked me to program two coding questions. One was palindrome, and the other was sorting algorithm. I told them what is sorting algorithm, and then I said I'll code for bubble sort. They were
Okay.
pleased with it, and then later they asked me to explain what is merge sort. So I just
Okay.
had to explain them what it is. I didn't have to code. Later questions went on. It went on through how internet works. You just had to give a basic explanation about it, and then they asked about data mining, which I actually didn't know because I didn't study it in my course. I said I don't know, and they were like okay with it. They didn't have an issue. They
Mm-hmm.
asked me later about supervised and unsupervised machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard of it, so I just told them I'm not sure, but this is how it works. I just gave an explanation, and they were okay with it. Later, they asked me about polymorphism, and then they asked me how do you explain class and object in simple words with an example. I took about car as an example, car manufacturing company, the different cars. So I told about them. Later, they even asked me about waterfall model. It comes in
Mm-hmm.
software engineering.
Yes.
Actually, this is something people tend to skip. They'll be like, okay, software engineering, they might not ask so deeply.
Yeah.
Actually, when I had skipped that, I was not able to explain them fully, but I somehow managed. So they asked me about
Mm-hmm.
waterfall model and what is agile system software.
Yes.
So you all
Yes.
need to prepare that too. That's important. And that's how, sir. And then they
Okay.
asked me to explain about my project.
Mm-hmm.
So I had done two projects. I explained about them. It was fine. So basically, what they're testing here is not just about one thing, about overall, like from machine learning to DBMS to computer networks, everything. You just need to have a basic idea about that. That's very important, guys.
That's a good
Yes,
info.
sir.
Yeah. So initially they asked you about what are the languages that you know, right? So
Yes,
is
sir.
that question based on of your resume or just asked you by watching you?
No, sir. Like in our resume, we need to mention which all
Mm-hmm.
languages we know. So
Mm-hmm.
what they usually ask is which language you're comfortable with, so that they
Mm-hmm.
can put up the questions. Like
Mm-hmm.
suppose if I would say Python, they wouldn't have asked me sorting questions. They would have asked me more about tuples and dictionaries.
Yes. True.
So they ask us which we are comfortable with.
Okay. Good. Good. So after clearing TR, you moved to HR, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So both the interviews happen on the same day, or is there any
No,
difference?
sir. Actually, that day only TR happened. HR
Mm-hmm.
was not an interview type. It was
Mm-hmm.
an MCQ HR assessment. That
Okay.
came up after some 7 days. It came after a
Mm-hmm.
week.
Okay.
So I'll explain about that HR.
Mm. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So it was an assessment. So the basic question there was, actually it had 50 questions, and
Mm-hmm.
there was only one question: what describes you the best? That was the same questions for all 50, and the options differ. So usually they give you three options. Like suppose, what describes you the best? Helpful and a team member, good team player, or a great leader, or three, I meet deadlines correctly. So in this, you have to choose what describes you the best. And if you choose I'm a great team player, the next question will be with the just remaining two options, that is leader or meet deadlines. And then you have to choose one. And then the question repeats again. What describes you the best with three other different options, like good at technical, people ask me technical things, or I ask people for help, such things. So, and sometimes the question repeats here. That's basically because they're testing you how true you are and what kind of person you are. So it
Okay.
wasn't an interview type, sir.
Mm-hmm. Just like an assessment.
Uh,
So,
Actually, they give us time limit for 15 minutes, but
mm-hmm.
it crosses about 30 because 50 questions are there. It takes around 30
Yes,
minutes
true.
to do.
Yeah. So
Yes,
after
that's
completing your HR as well as TR, you got the offer letter, right?
yes, sir, that's right.
So is the TR is a elimination round, or whatever your performance is, you will be moved to HR? Is that so?
Yeah, so basically the aptitude round, that's the elimination round, and
Mm-hmm.
TR is also an elimination round. If you're not good at it, like you won't be selected for
Mm-hmm.
HR. HR, I
Yeah.
believe it is just for a formality because most of them who cleared TR uh, cleared even HR.
Mm-hmm. Great, great. So after completing this interview process like TR and HR, how many days it took for you to get the offer letter?
So it came in quick within 2 3 days. They actually
Mm-hmm.
announced the results
Mm-hmm.
within 2 days, and then the offer
Mm-hmm.
letter comes in a week's time.
Okay, good. So coming to the written test pattern, so what kind of process is that? Like, what is the pattern for that?
Okay, sir. So the written test, it's divided into two. One is
Mm-hmm.
MCQ types, another is coding questions. I'll first talk about the coding questions.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have 45 minutes time, and there will be two coding questions. The first one will be simpler, and the second moderate. It's not going to be tough. You just need to be an average, a mediocre. It's fine. You will clear it. You don't have to be. You don't have to think, okay, I can't do it and all. A mediocre can clear it off. So the first question which I had was, they're usually scenario based. You need to find out what they're asking. Once you sort that out, it's simple. So what I had was like, count the number of consonants in a string. That's pretty simple. We can do it using Python. And the second one was count the frequency in a given string, like
Okay.
frequency of digits in a given string. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not actually as easy as it looks. They give a big scenario. They tell us what's happening. Like a person is working in a factory, he has to find something, and then
Mm-hmm.
once you understand it, this is what the question looks like.
Yeah. They
So
directly
you have
won't give you
45
the
minutes.
particular question. They, they pull it. You should pull it from a large paragraph.
Yes, sir, that's right. That's how it works. Like it almost, the time is 45 minutes, but if you're good at programming, if you've already practiced, you all can finish it off by 20 to 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
Okay, and the next thing is MCQs.
Mm.
Now, MCQs is further divided into four sectors. First is verbal, logical, quants, and computer science. Verbal, it had, okay, the total time limit is, I guess, 50 to 60 minutes, but each subsection has a time limit. Verbal had 10 minutes time. That's basically deals with your vocabulary, error detection, and such things. That's simple. You all will be able to
Mm.
clear it off.
Okay.
Next is logical. I guess it had around 15 to 20 minutes time. So as you all know, in logical, the main thing is patterns, data
Mm.
sufficiency, puzzles, and then time or the angle between things. Such things come. You all have to practice it, and you all should be good at logical thinking. That's what it requires. And then next is quants. It was around 25 to 30 or 20 minutes. So quants, this is the most important section in aptitude. This is where most of them fail, and which I personally find it very difficult. I actually had to practice a lot. So the main things here are percentages, work, time, distance, efficiency, permutation, probability, and mixtures, allegations. These are the things which you'll have to focus on. And even age sometimes. Sorry, age comes in the
Mm-hmm.
logical part. These are the main topics you need to prepare. So once this is done, the next is MCQs on computer science, like how much you all know the subjects. Actually, so because we had lockdown, I skipped my like two semesters were online, so I found
Mm.
this part personally difficult because main chapters like OS, computer networks, they were doing the
Yes.
online period, so it was a bit difficult. So the computer
Mm-hmm.
science part has 20 questions or something. It
Mm-hmm.
deals with DBMS, operating system, computer networks, findings error in code, and in DBMS normalization is very important. You'll, I request you all to practice that. That plays an important role. So that's what. So this aptitude had 4 sections, and it took around 50 to 60 minutes.
That's great.
So this is your basic elimination round, aptitude and coding as one.
Great. So after giving written test, how many days it will take you to get the result?
So the result you will get within 2 to 3 days,
Mhm.
but the interview for TR will be scheduled after 1 or 2 weeks. Actually, it took a long time.
Okay.
I guess 1 week or something. So that my total process from the aptitude to HR, it took around 3 weeks, I believe.
Great.
Yes, sir.
So after clearing these interviews and after attending these couple of interviews virtually and all, so what kind of suggestions that you would like to give to the people who are willing to join IT, or in particular persistent systems too? So what kind of suggestions
Okay.
you would like to give?
So basically, guys, if it's talking about the interview, one thing you'll need to be sure is it's going to be virtual. So your
Yes.
body language might not be observed much, but the way you speak and the confidence, it matters a lot. So practice the introduction. So every company you're going to attend is going to ask you your intro. So
Yes.
practice that, write it down, practice it in front of the mirror, be clear with it. So that creates the first impression, and that itself helps you a lot. And
True.
suppose you mess up with that, the thing is, you'll be frightened, and sometimes the next further questions you might be a little scared or nervous, and you might not be able to think properly. So that's the important thing. And what you'll need to practice is for the test and interviews is aptitude. You all can use in India Bakes or YouTube channels. You all can practice your aptitude questions there.
Yes.
And then for coding, I personally used HackerRank. My friends suggested CodeChef and other things, but I found HackerRank good. So I kept practicing that. I started some 2 months before. And try making a group with your friends. Actually, we made a group. They help us, like while practicing and all, we used to send them questions, and then they used to send us the answer, and then discuss how this answer came. So make a good friends group and keep
Good one.
practicing, so that
Yes.
you won't have to do everything by yourself. Like they'll be able to help you.
True.
And then so coding is HackerRank and Geeks for Geeks. These two helped me a lot.
Mhm. Great.
That's it, guys. You just have to be confident, practice your aptitude, do the coding, and have knowledge about your curriculum, like whatever you all had. That's it.
So these are some really true points that we should note, because see, you alone can't prepare everything by yourself. You need some
Yes, like
suggestions from people
yeah,
around you.
like some people suggested me some books,
Hmm.
and then some people suggest me try these websites. They are helpful. And then be close with your seniors. Actually, my senior, there's a person, he helped me a lot. He guided me. He said, do this. See, in this Java, you need to prepare these things. In Python, these
Yes,
things are important. So have a good rapport with your seniors too.
true. Experience matters a
Yes, sir.
lot. Yes, true.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, Abhishek, I think you've given much more information regarding preparation strategies and how to clear persistent systems indeed. Yeah, so I
Yes,
think we are about to end. So thank you once again, Abhishek, for sharing your experience. This might help
it's my
at least
pleasure, sir.
one guy out there. That's true.
Yes,
So
even
yeah,
I was helped like this through your videos.
thank you so much. Thank you,
Yes,
Abhishek.
sir. Thank you.
Bye.